Hello everyone, this is Stein North. Welcome back. What I'm going to go over is how to put together the body hole trap. What you do is you take these 4 stakes and you're going to lash those to 2 cross members. Now what I did was I just did a conventional square lashing, and I'll do 4 of those. This stake will get lashed here. These 2 stakes will get lashed to this cross member, and I'll have 2 of those. When these are put in the ground, these cross members and the stakes, the cross members will face each other, such as this. When we do the setup, you'll see how. So, you'll need to do 4 of these square lashings, and you want those good and tight. Now, if you're using bank line or decoy cord, you can get these cinched up really tight. And you don't have to do 6 wraps on these. I would say 2 to 4 wraps. I use 6-foot long cordage, and however far that takes me, that's what I get. And it never fails. Now what you're going to need to put all this together is you're going to need 6 6-foot long pieces of cordage, whether it be bank line or decoy cordage. You'll need 10 feet of paracord. You're going to need 1 18-inch piece and 3 12-inch pieces. Okay? So make sure to take enough cordage with you. Okay, next I'm going to show you the lever system. This is the mechanics of the trap. What I did was I took 2 sticks, just like with these pieces. I put a notch around it so that my cordage isn't going to slip out of it. And at one end, okay, I put a notch at each end of these. At one end, I beveled, if you can see that, I beveled the ends of the sticks. Then I just lashed around and around, then I frapped it, and then I tied it off as close as I could. There's some knot, there's some looseness in the middle, but you need a little bit, so that these create a V because they're tied at the base. Okay? Then, up at the top, I just tied on. I need to cut off all this excess because it's in the way and it's unsightly, right? Okay. And on the top, you need to, on one side, just on the one side, you need to tie a loop. Okay? And that loop is rather small. And what you end up doing is you take a foot-long piece, approximately, and we'll say this is that piece of cordage. This is so small, this cordage, to show on camera, but let's say this is that small cordage, and it's a foot long. You folded it in half. All you do is take it, find the middle, bring it around, and tie yourself a loop in it. Such as that. Except it's going to be tiny. It's just big enough that you can stick that cordage through it. Just so you can barely stick cordage through it. Okay. Then you're going to wrap that around that end of that stick, and you're just going to do a couple wraps around it, terminate it at the back however you want, clove hitch, square knot. And now that you got that loop on that upright stick sticking out like that, okay? Hope you got that. Okay, then on the opposite side from that, you're going to take a 6-foot long piece, and you're going to tie it to the top of the other stick, okay? And then you're going to pass the other end through that tiny little loop. Now what you have is you got a 6-foot long piece tied to this side, going through this little loop. This piece goes to your engine, or your spring, whatever you want to call it, your weight, whatever the engine is, that's going to generate the power to close this trap. When the engine gets set off, boom, it slams these two sticks together, and it slams them good, and pulls that animal up, right up tight against these cross members, usually breaking its neck, its back, and or its ribs. Okay, so that's how you put that part of it together. Now, your trigger. To make your trigger, you want a good, solid piece, about 18 inches long. This is dead hardwood. It's very strong. And I cut a number 7 notch in it. And sharpened the other end, of course. A lot easier to pound in the ground. And then my trigger. My trigger is what I call a double bait trigger. It's just a crotch in a sapling, a little Y in a sapling. Cut it off. I put an inverted 7 notch in it, which will be, of course, my catch on this stake. And I put that inverted 7 where the most straightest vertical arm of that Y is, okay? And the other arm swings off. Now, you attach a 6-foot long piece of cordage. I cut a notch around this spike and attached a 6-foot piece of cordage. And this cordage will also, this holds the engine. Now when they trigger this, the engine goes off and pulls the trap, okay? Now, if you can see, when this is attached, you can have 2 pieces of bait on there. You got twice the possibilities of them pulling this trigger off of that stake. So, there you go. That's how you put this stuff together. My next video will be us going out in the field and setting this thing up. Okay? I'm going to finish putting it all together and then see about trying to get that video done and getting us out in the field, set that up on a game trail. This is Sty North, and from all of us here at Camp Wilderness Thriving Fundamentals, Jim, Big Jim, and Rory, we love the fact you're watching our videos, and stick with us, follow this up, watch the next video, and see how this works, see how it sets up, and we're looking forward to seeing you down the road. You all have a nice day.